So, what happens when both central banks, the Bank of Canada and the US Federal Reserve, cut rates at the same time? That's the big question that we're heading into tomorrow. And it could shape everything from mortgage rates to housing affordabilities right across Canada. Hi everyone, Michelle Brienza here. You probably noticed last week that I did not post a video. And honestly, things were changing so much last week, every single day, that what I wanted to say on Monday looked totally different by Thursday. And here I am again, between yesterday and today, so many things that are going on. The Bank of Canada is going to be making their announcement tomorrow at 9:45, and this announcement really does matter. Last week, the markets were split. It was really going to be a coin toss, 50-50. And now there's an 82% chance of a quarter point cut. So from last week to this week, the numbers have increased. And that's because the markets are really showing a slowdown. And on paper, inflation looks like it's under control. But to be honest, I'm not totally convinced that it is. And as we start to see more numbers coming out, that's what's going to happen. We're going to see a little bit more information. But back in September, the governor of the Bank of Canada said that if the economy weakened and if inflation stayed contained, then, we were going to do a wait and see. So I don't know. I have a feeling. Then, of course, with Doug Ford, good old Doug Ford, doing that beautiful viral ad, Donald Trump has pretty much halted, negotiations of tariffs. And the Reagan Foundation is taking a look to see if any legal grounds have been crossed. So we'll see what happens. But, circling back to inflation, basically this is where opinions are a little bit split. So this is where the issue comes into play. Core inflation, when they strip out certain things, it's hovering at about 3%. And really, we're trying to keep it at 2%. So we're in a place right now where they're trying to say from 1 to 3%. They're trying to change the goalpost. But inflation is increasing, and that's hard to contain, and they're having a hard time with that. And so, they're in this neutral zone now that if they drop the rate, they're going to be in this what's called a neutral zone where they're not stimulating and they're not slowing things down either. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're going to drop it tomorrow. Meanwhile, in the US, they're also going to be having a rate announcement on Wednesday, and they're probably also going to drop, and they have a 97% chance. And that's because last month, Jerome Powell said that the downside risk to employment has increased. So that's language for translation for the labor markets are starting to cool off. So if inflation in the US is getting higher than the target of their 2%, and the same thing is happening in Canada, I anticipate that this month they're both going to be dropping a quarter point. So we'll see. I'm going to call that today. Last time I called it, I was wrong, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think I'm right. So if the rates drop, then that's a big shift after 2 years of a lot of rate hikes. Rates seem to be dropping, and tomorrow's rate decision will definitely be setting the tone for borrowers. I'm hoping that it'll increase some confidence, and we'll see how that helps Canadians move in 2026. The monetary policy report is also going to be coming out, so I'll probably be doing a video on that and just seeing what the Bank of Canada thinks and seeing how that's going to impact us going forward, because really that's the information that at this point I'm going to be looking at. In the meanwhile, we're going to pay attention to the fallout with Doug Ford and with the Trump administration and see what happens with tariffs. That probably is going to have an impact as well on unemployment numbers over the upcoming months. So we'll see. Anyways, if you've made it this far into the video, as always, I so appreciate your support. I hope you have a fantastic week. Stay tuned for the monetary policy update, and let's see what we can anticipate. For now, I think that variables are going to drop a little bit, and let's see what starts to happen to fixed rates and see if they start to follow suit a little bit more. Until then, Have a great week.